Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another episode of Adventures Chat Log. Before we begin, I want to remind you guys to choose your preferred content on what I release. I have mentioned this on yesterday's video, but I thought I would reiterate it here. The idea is I will make a priority system on which videos I should be concentrating on and release them accordingly. The choices are as follows. The first one is, of course, Adventures Chat Log. Second is the Ninja point of view on Sigmascape fights. Basically, it's gonna be about tips and guides to do better DPS. Third is continuing Ni no Kuni 2 playthrough, and fourth, it probably just go back to mobile gaming again. So those are the choices that I have thought of. Obviously, Adventures Chat Log I will always try to release every week, but if I am limited to time, then most likely I will usually push Adventures Chat Log and release other videos. But I do want to concentrate more on the things that you guys want to watch. So that is the idea of this priority system. With that in mind, let's get on with the topic of this week. So, Square Enix has done a lot of things in order to reduce RNG to drops in raids. Primal Extreme drops a totem each time you beat the Primal, and you can go in as much as you want. Having 10 of these totems can net you a weapon, 7 if you're a paladin. In Savage raids, you get books which you can turn in for gear or upgrades. Although you can't just keep going in and farming these books in the current raid tiers, you can farm this in the old raid content from Heavensward and onwards. Unfortunately, you can't farm these books on the old coil content. You will still be at the mercy of the RNGs, which brings me to the topic this week. Should Square Enix reduce or further reduce the RNG drops from older content? Let's start with the old coil content, since it's the first thing that I brought up. I believe Square should introduce a totem drop whenever you beat the respected raid floor, just like in Heavensward. I don't know what makes coil special that we have to be at the mercy of RNGs for the drops in these floors. I mean, sure, it's a very nostalgic fight for older players, and I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate the fight because I feel Coil was the best raid tiers in Final Fantasy XIV. It's the most well balanced out of all the raid tiers to this date, at least in my opinion. But the lack of gear drops you want might put off quite a few people. However, we must look at this in another perspective. Less gear drops might mean some people will keep going in the raids in order to get their gear. I mean, if you are motivated enough, why not? More people returning will make it easier for new players to get into these raids. I mean, DPS times are still atrocious. Can you imagine queuing for old raids as a DPS? I'd say it's pretty bad. That's why I implore Square Enix to implement the totem drop system in the old coil raids as well. It seems the logical idea and probably the best way to make sure people still go in the raid. You won't lose too much people because they got their items straight away, and you don't lose people because they hate the RNG of the drops. So, with that out of the way, let's take a look outside of Coil. Every Savage raid here after a Realm Reborn gets these totem-like drops to turn into gear. But the one raid here that doesn't get it is the normal raid tiers. You know, those easy raids that you can do with your eyes closed and one hand tied behind your back? Yes, those raid tiers doesn't get any totem drops. I mean, in a way, they don't function the same way as totems. This will be a little bit hard to explain, but I will try. They are still used to turn in, but they are specific to what you can turn in. Unlike in Savage, the book that drops in that specific floor can be used to get any items that drops in that floor. In normal mode, it still works like that, but you have to roll against other people to get that totem. So if player A wants a bolt for an accessory, he has to fight for it with other 1 to 7 other people wanting that drop, which doesn't make sense. These old normal raids should have totems applied to them as well. Why make old Savage content easier to get gear than the normal mode? I mean, sure, it requires more skill to do this Savage version, but the eye level for the gear in normal mode is lower than Savage anyway. So for new players wanting to get their eye level a little higher or get better gear, you will have to wait for queue times, and chances are you won't get the item that you need. And this is old content too. I mean, I'm not wishing for totems to drop in the current raid tier, but in the older content, why not? You can safely just make it so the actual gear drops in the chest and people can get totems like in Savage. Also, worthy to know that Savage gear are dyeable, which makes them a little bit more special than the normal mode. So now I can hear people saying, hey Monch, if you want higher eye level, you can just farm Poetics. And those gears are better in every way. And you can take those gears through the entire content up till the end. I mean, yes, you're right. But sometimes, don't you want a little change of scenery? Doing a 4-man dungeon all the time can get pretty stale. And is having a variety of options really a bad thing? I mean, this is older content after all. So I don't think it will hurt anyone for that new player to get a free gear after the 4 raids or however much it is. Which I do believe they do get 1 bolt during the quest line for their troubles, but having more won't hurt since it will be quite irrelevant anyway unless you just want it for glamour. And by giving out gear to new players will feel empowered, and giving away more items makes one feel really good. Now, don't tell me you didn't get excited when you got a new piece of gear during your travels in any MMORPG. It will keep the new players engaged, and at least that's how I feel anyway. So, anyway guys, I think that's it for this video. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it informative at all. as always, I would like to hear from you guys what you think of this week's topic, and of course, share your thoughts as well about the topic. Also, don't forget to pick your desired content, as it will steer this channel's future. Also, follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Monchkinz Gaming. This is Monchkinz logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.